everyone, and welcome to Scrap Saturdays. I hope you're all doing well. This is another Felicity Jane layout that I created, and I really wanted to try out one of their girl stamps, and this is Kate. And I like her because she has fierce attitude, and it's sort of like blends into the whole theme of what I want to talk about today and what kind of picture I decide to scrapbook. And I just love the way she's like, adjusting her glasses as if to say, I'm sorry, excuse me, are you talking to me? Maybe not. But at first I stamped it, and I don't know if you can notice, but there is a darker area on the arm that's holding the purse. And that's because there was a bit of residue on my stamp, maybe from the silicone or whatnot, what it's made out of. I don't believe it's rubber. So I went ahead and I stamped it again, but there was still something missing. And so I stamp it a third time. But I don't prepare or prep my stamps. I notice some people, they do take an eraser and stuff like that. And I never had any formal training. I mean, I watch stuff, but I didn't know that you should really pay attention to that. So now I will. I kind of, learned my lesson. And so here I'm just going to start coloring in the image, and I'm using the image that has the extra stamping on that arm just because I wanted to see, what the colors would look like first before doing it on the one that I want to use. These are my Prima watercoloring pencils, but I don't even end up using this image, but I did have fun coloring her in. Like, at least I did practice and I kind of got the gist of what it would look like. I actually end up using the non-colored one all the way to the far right. And you'll see how that transpires and how that translates. I'm using, different colors, but in the same tones just to bring in the highlights. And I knew that my scarf in the photo had some of the teals and the turquoises, so I thought it would work well. And yeah, I think she looks cute. I tried to do the same thing that Jenna does, where I didn't color in everything, but I kind of just colored her outfit type thing. But still, in the end, I didn't use it. Here's the sketch that I will be following today. And again, it's still a Laura Whitaker sketch, and it's from Pinterest. And all I did was search stuck sketches, and I really liked the fishtail inverted banner type background on the page. I really was drawn to that because I had just watched another video where someone was doing a travel notebook, and she took the time to type out 1,000 in different types of words, and she did her whole background page with her own typing. And because I just recently restored my typewriter, when I saw this sketch, the first thing that I was drawn to was that banner with all the typing on it. So, and a little later, you'll see how that turns out. But I really had so much fun creating that. And so working with a sketch, I'd like to say, sometimes is not that easy. Like, I watch myself here and I pick through things and I pick through things. And what I had to do was train my mind to actually look at the edges. Right, so when we're looking at the sketches, I have to look at all the edges of where the photo is and count the layers and kind of put that into perspective, and then it really turns out nicely, right? Whereas when I'm scrapbooking, even though I think it translates to mostly my style because I gravitate to sketches that kind of speak to me anyhow, right? So it's going to be something that is my style, but I find that when I'm free-flowing, it may not exactly turn out right, but when I'm watching, when I'm looking at a sketch, I actually have to pay more attention and count those edges. So I don't know if that's helpful if you've ever used a sketch before, or if you haven't and you want to. I think that's where you kind of start. You have to count and base things appropriately on that and kind of work through, how many layers you need and whatnot. And so this is a photo of myself, and if this video goes up on the time or the date that it's scheduled to go up, it will be October 13, and ironically this photo was taken October 13 a year ago because it's my anniversary weekend, and usually we try to get away somewhere, or at least, go on a date of some sort and make time for ourselves. And so this picture of myself, yes, I think it's called a selfie, uh, is is one that I'm wearing a scarf that my husband gifted to me while we were away on our little getaway. And it was like in a tchotchke store. You know, those stores where on one corner you can find a whoopee cushion, and then on another corner they've got these amazing hand woven scarves. Yeah, it was a tchotchke store. It's funny, but we spent 2 days. It was a two day weekend getaway. And the first night that we walked through this tchotchke store, I gravitated to this scarf like right away. I was like, ooh, right? It's so me. It felt nice. And when I read the tag, that it had been hand woven and, all the materials and stuff, I thought, oh, for sure. I love creativity from anybody. I think it's beautiful that people have the talent and the gift and the passion to create things. So for me, it was just number one, great. And then it had all of my colors, and it's reversible. It has like a darker black tone underneath. So it basically goes with every single thing that I own because it has every single color that I love. So I never take the scarf off. I take it off for like 3 weeks in the summer. And the girls at work, they laughed because we had a heat wave. And then I came into work like a day after the heat wave and I was wearing my scarf. And they're like, oh God, Monica, no. And I said, yep, it's cold, girls. I got the scarf back on and I just love it. I love it for so many reasons. And so here you got to see the banner that I created, and I actually typed that all out. And I say that so passionately because at first I thought I was just going to type out like, beauty, strength, gratitude, all those words, right? But I didn't do that. I actually journaled. I actually started to type about how I felt about myself in this picture, how much hard work and dedication it's taken me to lose over 100 pounds and to get to the point where I actually enjoy taking a selfie, where I've been practicing how to hold my cell phone so that I can get a good angle, so that I like the photos that I see. And so all these little things, it comes back to that quote that I chose to put in at the beginning of the video, right? And I wanted to talk about it because it's so important. And I always remind you every year. So the quote that I chose was, work on being in love with the person in the mirror who has been through so much but is still standing. Right? I used to weigh 270 pounds, and even my own family, like I have my sister sometimes, she's like, no, Monica, I don't remember you like that. And then I'll show her photos. I have photos of like my son's first birthday, my daughter's third birthday. And when I look through those photos, even my own children are like, oh my gosh, Mom, I don't recognize you. Or my daughter now, who's 14, she'll sometimes sit by my side because she needs a lot of photos for projects and stuff at school. And she'll be like, wow, Mom, I'm really proud of you. And I say to her, yeah, that's what I used to look like. Never mind what I looked like, what I felt like. And I never wanted to take pictures. I've told you this before. But I had to work on myself. I had to build up the courage to get to this point because it takes courage to run on the road when you're over 200 pounds. It takes courage to bend and lift and pull when you're so tired after work with 2 small children. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of determination. So yeah, you have to be mindful of all those things. And I've been there and I know what it feels like. And now I don't take anything for granted. It took me 3 years to get to this point, to be able to say yes, and to have the courage to cut out what you see there, the beautiful you, which came from one of those Project Life type cards. And I'm going to say that we never hesitate to write the word beautiful or pick that title, beautiful you, stunning, gorgeous. We're so quick to use it for our daughters, our nieces, somebody else's wedding photo, to comment on somebody else's picture. But would you pick it for yourself? Would you label your layout of your photograph as beautiful you? Because a few years ago, I wouldn't. I don't even think I'd be doing a picture or a selfie layout like I'm doing now. And it's all in a practice of. It's just like the other video when I said, it's not selfish It's self-love. So it's not conceited right now. It's confidence. And those words have to change. We have to change those words as women. And we have to ensure that we leave a legacy of what we find beautiful in ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. And I don't have the perfect body yet. I don't know what the perfect body is because there's no other Monica in the world. There's only me. So the comparison to or the comparison of, it doesn't exist because there's nobody else like me. And again, that's not conceited. That's actual fact. I can't compare myself to anybody because I'm little bits and pieces of so many pieces of DNA. A little bit of my grandmother, my mom, my dad, my cousin, my uncle, who knows? So there's only one me. So there's nothing to compare to. So there has to be a landing point, a satisfaction point where I'm okay. I'm okay with it. You're never truly perfect and you're never truly done, but I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with the steps and the tools that I now have to do daily. Daily reminders, yes. How I talk to myself in the mirror, how I dress my body, what I put in my mouth, how I eat, how I exercise weekly and take care of myself daily. All those things matter, right? They're baby steps to the big picture. They're baby steps to the selfie. And then there's other things that I do, which sounds crazy, but it's out there. And we should talk about it as women as well, right? It's looking at something like, and not to use her for every example, because there's 100 different things that I hate about, a lot of people on social media that are celebrities. But let's take Kim Kardashian again, for example. Like, she's perfected the selfie. That's why she looks good, right? You need to hold your camera up in the air. You do. And you don't look down at cameras because then you get 17 double chins. Because if I look down at my camera, I get 17 double chins. So it's practicing those things on your own. Don't show anyone. It's okay. When your hair's done, when your lipstick matches, when you feel good, when you're on your way to a wedding, whatever day it is, secretly practice taking that selfie. And I promise you're going to love it. It's going to be just like practicing doing your scrapbook layouts. It's like anything that we do that we take time to repetitively do it over and over again. It becomes a habit. It becomes a habit at the back of our brain, and we don't think about it in a negative sense anymore because it's just common sense. It becomes normal. It becomes so normal to gravitate to a title that says beautiful you, because you will accept yourself as you are in all of your form and beauty. So I hope that you guys love the way this layout turned out. I, for one, was blown away by, again, using a sketch and coming to an end result that still translates to my style. Here I'm just adding these 3 little stamps and I love it. One of them says my favorite. The top one says gratitude, and underneath my photo it says, it's so you. And I just love it. I love everything about it. My favorite part is the journaling, the typing on that back banner, because it's such a real raw journaling. Like I told you, if you start reading it, right, it really translates to how I was feeling. And I just thought, wow, what another step, what another stage, what another added bonus to this hobby that I'm just discovering now that I truly love. It's part of what I feel that's so important in my creativity is my writing. It's the way that I translate my feelings into words. So I hope that you guys take what I give out. I hope that you feel all the love, the self-love. Self-love is so important because together we heal the world when we heal ourselves first. I thank you guys so much for joining me. I thank you guys for all your comments, all your love, but most of all, be inspired. Be inspired to take a selfie, to take time to do what you love, because this hobby heals. Great big hug to all of yous, and I will see you very, very soon.